Next, let's talk about what guides most human behavior, and that is higher power and faith. And let's define this higher power and faith. Let's talk about what constitutes a higher power. We'll look at it at a personal and universal view, and the role that faith plays in human survival, not just human behavior, but human survival, and how faith connects to manifesting personal growth, um, how that all ties together. So let's define this higher power. So what is a higher power? Is it God? Is your individual description or uh, image of God? And is it one that you share with other people? And do you actually need for the other people around you to share this version of God, this image with the good and the bad and all the rules that go along with believing in this God? Is that how you judge behavior as good or bad? And do you need this sense of shared belief systems because you need to make sure that everyone involved is being policed by something higher than him or you or her, something that brings that moral compass into play? So if the higher power to you is not God, what if it's the universe? If this is the universe that is your higher power, structuring your belief system, um, and what you subscribe to. What do you need this higher power for? Why is this necessary? Why is it necessary to believe in a higher power? Um, in religion, this higher power, God gives you grace. If you believe and have faith, you will receive grace. And if you are more inclined to the spiritual aspect of things and you have your own spiritual beliefs, this surrender here to the universe or this higher power, you do it for guidance. So in religion, you're looking for grace, and in spirituality, you're looking for guidance. But what good is grace without guidance? And what good is guidance without grace? So let's think about it a little more. What good is the dogma of religion if there is no way to break free from it? And what good is the complete freedom of spirituality if there is no moral compass? So let's go a little further and talk about faith. So what is faith? Faith is really trust. It's just pure, complete trust. So what do you put your trust in? Do you trust God? Do you trust the universe? Do you trust yourself? And do you trust others? So let's break it on down and talk about the relationships that you have, not just with God or the universe, but about yourself and others. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? So to have faith in something is to trust in it. And if you trust and put your faith in something, you expect a positive outcome. What happens when the outcome is not positive? You stop trusting yourself, you stop trusting God, the universe, or other people. So what do we see as bad or good? We have claimed it as bad or good, but there's also that term that you hear used quite often, rejection is just redirection. So if you're always seeing something as bad, there is something that you do not trust. This is basic realization of objectively viewing human behavior. So there is a lecture series. It's on YouTube. Stanford University has it out there. It was put out 14 years ago, and it's human behavior biology. So it's all the lectures in that class. And the professor is Robert Sapolsky. I hope I'm saying that right. In this behavior biology and the evolution of how behavior evolves, it breaks it down to the biology, the organism level, the animal instinct behavior level. So in the animal kingdom, you have tournament species and you have pair bonding species. And these two types of species develop different behavior patterns depending on their environment. And if you watch enough of the lectures, you'll see that the point to all of it is really that genetics has very little, if almost nothing, to do with human behavior. The whole nature versus nurture becomes something that you see play out in day-to-day behavior. We change our behavior depending on our environment, whether we feel safe, whether we trust the environment or the people in it. So one of the things that he goes into is the game dynamics that humans play. We are in the constant flow state of being a tournament species or being a pair bonding species. We go between the two, just like we are carnivores and herbivores. We take both sides of this as human consciousness. We have it all. We have all of these behaviors, and we have the environment in which we are behaving. This goes back to our survival. We are hardwired to survive, and we survive by finding out who we can trust, who we're related to, and what that means in the survival of the species. So, to bring it back to a personal level, when it comes to trust, I personally trust myself over anyone else. I trust my intuition and I trust my common sense. And the way I survive with this is not that I do not trust others or that I do not put my faith in others. Or it's not that I don't put my faith in my beliefs of what I consider to be God and my higher power. What I do personally is when someone is dishonest, when I encounter dishonesty, I disengage from that person or that relationship. Now, some people, most people, do not see that as a hard and fast boundary like I do. And I understand why. There, again, in the biology of human behavior, humans tend to interact and play the game of life in a little tit-for-tat manner. As long as you don't stab me in the back, I'm not going to stab you in the back. And as long as you stab me in the back and you allow me to stab you back, then we're even. You get this sense of we're even and everything is okay. The reason I have developed this is because not just the animalistic human behavior, there is also karma out there. So you are either giving off karma or receiving karma. And the dishonesty to me is bad karma. I do not have to take that on. The person being dishonest has to take that on. And that is my way of protecting my energy and my inner peace, which we're going to talk about inner peace more later. But this I do for myself. I do it for my nervous system. So when we talk about human behavior and we talk about our higher power and how we go through life and how we identify, if we are constantly engaging in interactions that upset our nervous system, right? We react instead of responding. So if you have the triggers, if you have the emotional baggage, if you have the trauma, if you have those things happening within you while you are interacting, the human behavior of other people is lost on you because all you can do is react. You can't respond. You're not really seeing the conversation or the environment for what it is. That is your nervous system and your ego running on subconscious programs to keep you safe in your environment, because you will behave more like yourself when you feel safe. So this is also about finding who you are and being comfortable being your true, authentic self. Listen to your nervous system. Know that when you are reacting instead of responding, that there is something in that environment that has made you feel unsafe, and you may not be conscious of it. It may be time to question things and look with an objective awareness, to look at just the behavior of the people around you, how you are responding to it, and do a little introspection. That's really all it takes. People set boundaries but don't enforce them. People announce their triggers, and in doing that, they put their reaction on the other person. They're saying, I've told you all my triggers, so if you say something, my emotional reaction is now you're now responsible for my reaction to your words. If I deem what your words say to me is a trigger, you can trigger people without meaning to. Offense is the same way. Offense is never given, it's only taken. So if you are very easily offended, you are probably very easily triggered. So the awareness to that is the first and best step. You realize that these things are tied into your belief systems. They're tied into what you have faith in and what you trust. All of the manifesting techniques out there at the core are based in faith and trust. You believe you can do it. You can believe it's out there for you. It can be used as well for personal growth. Maybe you're not trying to gain material things right now. Maybe you're not trying to manifest a new life because you're not in touch with yourself. Maybe you don't really know what you want, but you know you want that new car. And this is a way to get it. But you can also use this for personal growth as well, to manifest, if you will, that better version, that newer version, uh, that new identity that doesn't allow the um, the pushing of the boundaries. Your boundaries aren't a line in the sand, they are discussion points. You start to clear your energy, you start to clear how you see things, how you observe and react to not just your human behavior, but the others around you. You start to clear this out a little bit. You start to understand that human behavior and self-awareness can get you through a lot of personal growth, a lot of relationship issues that usually just need a conversation. And you can do it with ease because you're trusting yourself. You're having faith in yourself. You know that there's a higher power. You know that there's grace and guidance out there. But when your head is clear and you have inner peace, you trust yourself more to do that for yourself.